Here we are with the 55-inch Sony X90J. Now, I know that a lot of people might not care about packaging, but I really care about the attention to detail. And one thing I'm noticing immediately that's different from the time I unboxed my Sony A90J, which was $3,000, is that there are actually graphics on the box right over here. And I mean, come on, like that gives you a window into how the TV was created. And I kind of feel like, if I know what I know, I feel like the XR logo very possibly may be on the back of this TV, and this is just generally going to be built a little bit more premiumly than what we saw, just simply because they're putting a lot more effort into the product presentation, which kind of has me feeling a type of way, but we'll see if I'm right on that one. So we're going to unbox this one. Let's just get started. Now, before we get the box off, one of the things I immediately noticed is that there's tape on my box, unlike my $3,000 Sony A90J, which again, just really has me feeling a type of way, realizing I paid more money and I'm not exactly getting treated like I paid more money with the A90J. So that is something that some people may have to weigh up. We'll see what it turns into, but I'm gonna get started. So essentially it's like this. These clips, all you gotta do is flip them inside out. I'm gonna get a little closer so you can see what's going on here. But essentially the goal is to find this tab here, right? We're just gonna find this and we're gonna rip it. Now, how we're gonna do that, we're just gonna grab on here and just give it a nice tug. Just like that. Now, I'm doing this one-handed with the camera, so obviously I'm a bit more clunky than most people would be, but it's pretty easy to rip the tabs once you kind of recognize where it is. And again, we're just gonna do the same thing on the opposite side. So here we are here. I'm gonna try to get my focusing back here. There we go, so you guys can see. Okay, here we are, right there. So we're going to find this tab, we're gonna flip it over. You guys are gonna see a little lip here. You're gonna peel it down like that. And then you just wanna give it a really nice and firm tug. Now you're gonna have to forgive I'm losing focus here. Try to get a little closer so you can see it. And we're gonna give it a nice pull right about now. Hold on, it's hard to do with one hand, especially since I'm not left-handed. Essentially, I just strip it like that, and then from there you can probably just give it a nice tug or pull and snap it off. Now I'm gonna have to use my other hand, but essentially you just pull it off from there. Now that we've got the box off, we're gonna make sure we find our little styrofoam pieces here. Just toss those out to the side. Now, we're just gonna unpackage it here. And let's see, I'm kind of so eager to see if I was right about this XR logo being on the back. I'm pretty sure I am, but let's see. You guys ready? Was I right about the boxing making a difference? Imagine fucking that. There it is. The XR logo, exactly like I knew it was gonna be there. I'll show more on the back, but oh man, this has already got me feeling a little salty. Now, I don't know how much of this you can see, but essentially Sony put cardboard on the front of the screen. It's a very nice touch, and it's something that just helps protect the screen a little bit more than what we would have normally have had. So yeah, here's a look at the back, and I already can tell you right now, it's way more premium than my $3,000 Sony A90J, and that pisses me off just a little bit. Now, it's great for people who are new to this TV and didn't buy this TV, the A90J rather, but for me, I'm still salty. I'm sorry, guys. But moving along with the review, I noticed that we do have a detachable power cable. So again, very, very good. We need that stuff. We don't want it built in like we've seen on other 55-inch Sony 900 models. So this is very, very nice. And I'm digging this kind of like checkerboard-esque kind of pattern, reminding me of like the 930 days. And then this Bravia logo is so freaking cool. Now, of course, it's all plastic and everything, but it's more premium. And I'm saying though, like I really feel the type of way that I don't have that on my $3,000 Sony A90J. I'm pretty upset about it. Not gonna lie, if you can't tell, I keep mentioning it. I just can't let it go. I mean, because it looks so nice. But I guess most people won't even care because they're like, who looks at the back of the TV? But you know, presentation is everything. I don't know. All right, so let's move this thing along here. All right, so we've got our ports here. As you can see, I'm gonna try to get it to focus a little bit better than that. You see all the ports we have here, and then you've got your 120 hertz port right there. You've got two of them, 3 and 4, just like the A90J. So that's very good stuff there. and the rest is all pretty standard USB ports and all that stuff like you'd come to expect. Now, one of the nice things that literally no other YouTuber is really going to talk about, but I'm going to do it because I'm the #1 brand in honesty, and why not? Okay, is the fact that unlike the Sony A90J, this basically is made for your convenience. So if you notice, all 4 of the HDMI ports are on the side, not underneath, making you have to configure some awkward fingering and being very difficult to plug in your HDMI ports. It just makes it so easy. Everything just kind of comes out of the side, and I really love this. Now, some people who wall mount and conceal might find this to be a problem, but it is way easier to plug in when your inputs come out of the side than it is to literally go behind the TV and start doing weird stuff like the A90J has you do. Now, just so you guys don't think I'm crazy, here's the back of my Sony A90J. This TV costs $3 grand, and it's something that most people have been asking about versus the X900J. As you can see, there is no XR logo anywhere. It's just cheap ripped plastic. They didn't even bother to put the cool checkerboard design that we saw on the X90J. So it's really bothering me that the A90J doesn't have that. It's just literally bare bones, very cheaply made, and it really pisses me off seeing a TV that is less money be more premium, not only in the way that you unbox it, but just in the way that they put more effort into the aesthetics. Aesthetics for a guy like me are almost everything. I'm an extremely shallow human being, and I'm not gonna even pretend that I'm not, and I am still pretty upset about this. So I just wanted to show you this off so you guys don't think I'm just being petty here. All right, so now we're gonna go over the packaging contents, okay? So essentially, you have feet covered in plastic. You've got a big thing that was taped up that carries all your core stuff like your remote and your power cable. And then you've got some extra like literature for how to put together the TV stand and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, don't really need that though. So yeah. All right, so I'm gonna give you a little bit more of a close-up of the stand here. The stand is this like nice kind of like gloss plastic. It's really hard to see really, but that's what it is. It's this nice gloss plastic, looks very nice. Very cool. And we've got the same thing on the other side. So yeah, we've got the remote. The remote is plastic build. It's not anything like backlit or anything premium, but you know, it's in line with what we've seen before from this brand. So again, not exactly something that I would be too picky about. It feels very cheap in the hand, but I think we can let it slide because it's not terribly expensive. And this is that detachable power cable. Now on to business. Sony talks about this whole road to zero thing, and I love that whole concept, but the problem is, look at all this plastic, my guys. I mean, really? Road to zero? Really? This is your road to zero, Sony? Like, this can fill a landfill. And this is my problem. Nothing about this is biodegradable, nothing is environmentally safe or anything like that. It's just like them using reclaimed plastics and doing whatever they want and saying, hey, we're on a road to zero. That's why we've done all this. And I'm calling shenanigans because at the end of the day, you can deal with less plastic. You don't have to have the remote in its own plastic thing. And like, there's just too much going on here for this whole claim. And that's important to note because that's a part of their advertising this year, talking about a road to zero. And I'm just gonna call them on that. I'm pretty sure they also used diesel trucks to drop off these products. So yeah, something to think about if you're like an environmentalist. Not exactly as environmentally friendly as they claim to be, as you see with all this damn plastic here. Now let's talk about how you put the stand together. It's stupid easy. A caveman can literally do it. So I don't know if you can see this, but on here, there's gonna be the number 1. I don't know if you can see that, but in the top left-hand or right-hand corner, right here, there's gonna be a number 1. All you're going to do is find this number 1, put it with the 1 facing up towards you, find 1 on the stand here, and all you're gonna literally do is just slide it right in like this. No screws needed, 100% easy. Love this design. Couldn't say enough about this. This is what the A90J should have been. This is what every TV should be. I think this is a revolutionary, like easy setup kind of guide to getting your stuff together. So yeah, very easy, done in seconds. So let's move on. All right, so we just plug in the power cable in here. We don't have to wiggle or finagle anything awkwardly. It's just very easily done. And that's pretty much what we have. And again, I can't help myself. I have to look at that Bravia XR logo because that is clean. It's too nice. Can't really get it on camera very well, but you guys saw it earlier. I mean, it looks pretty cool. I like it. I don't know. All right, let's turn this bad boy on. Now, before we fully get turned on here, it's important to note, you'll spend a good amount of time getting all the extra plastic off the TV, which adds to that pile I was talking about earlier. So seriously, there's a lot of inconvenient plastic that you're just gonna have to pull off. So just something to think about. All right, so now we're gonna turn on the TV for the first time. And I see a lot of hazing. I'm sitting directly in front of the TV, turned on my A8G off to the side, as you guys can probably see. I'm not too worried about that. We'll just get going here. So we're gonna select English. And we're going to select the United States. And I'm just going to do the basic TV setup. In typical fashion, we are met with Google's forced terms of service. There is no way to opt out of this. You basically will do what they say, or else you can't proceed any further. This is the point in the unboxing process where if you're not okay with anything that is in this terms of service agreement, you're just gonna have to box your TV up and bring it right back to the store. I hate that Sony does this. I hate that any TV manufacturer does this, and worse even, have people defend it, get away with it, and not even mention it altogether when you watch some of these other reviewers out there. So I'm going to point this out for the billionth time. It is not okay to pay any amount of money, I don't care how much it is, and to be sitting here met with some legal addendum crap that you've got to go through and read or just blindly accept to proceed. Now, for the sake of unboxing and the review process, I don't really have a choice, but it's still something that you might want to consider. Now, you can customize it a little bit. As you see, I turned off the location, and I'm going to turn off helping Google improve anything because, honestly speaking, I don't like forced terms of service, and I don't need you collecting any extra data. Moving forward, we get to the Bravia startup screen. And it has begun. So now we get into the secondary Bravia option. I'm noticing a lot of haze on the corners of this TV. I don't know if that's because local dimming is not enabled yet, but I'm noticing it on this, what would be considered normal content. So we're gonna scroll down and there's gonna be more privacy policy stuff. Fortunately, Bravia policy, you don't have to agree to any of it. You just hit proceed. This is the way it should be for that Google garbage, but it's not. So that's something, again, every person's gonna have to weigh up for themselves. They have voice recognition, and they're gonna ask you to do all the setup stuff. I'll just do setup later, and you can connect whatever device you want. I'll just put connect later. Then they'll ask you how's your TV positioned, tabletop stand for life, that's how I like it. Then they're gonna ask you to do an acoustic calibration, and then we're gonna start the acoustic calibration, which takes seconds. So it's gonna say that, you know, basically asking you if it's allowed to use your audio and, you know, all that other stuff. Just allow it and then hit start, and it's gonna be pretty loud, but it'll get the job done. And that's it. That's literally how long it took. So then we go on and it's like loading please. And then you can register your Google account. I'm just gonna skip that part. And then they're gonna ask you to not forget to register your account. And really, I don't care. So I said, no, thank you, I'll do it later. Apple AirPlay and all that other stuff, checking for updates and all that stuff. I don't enable Samba TV, I just disable Samba TV. I don't use it, so I just disable it. And then that's pretty much it. And then you click done and the setup process is complete. It says adding finishing touches. I don't know if you can see how hazy the screen is right now. I really hope that's not indicative of the picture quality to come for sure, but that's basically how you set this TV up. So now we're gonna try to play a demonstration. Now for this, I'm gonna be in HDMI port 3, and I'm going to go into my TV options here. We're gonna pull them up. Just open up my menu. There we go. Okay, so just kind of looking at some of the picture options we have. Cinema, obviously we have Vivid, Standard, Cinema, Game, Graphics, Photo, and yes, we have the IMAX Enhanced mode. This is a major win for every single person right now that they didn't just price gate this, because this is going to really make this a heavy hitter. I can't wait to see what those settings are gonna look like when I'm finished with them, but oh man, I'm excited to see what they do with this. Okay, so now that we know that, we can go into the picture settings and we can see what has changed this year, right? You have auto picture mode, don't need that. And as you guys clearly see, it's just like I said, you don't have the color sensor this year on the X900 series, so don't expect that. That's going to be for the higher end televisions. That's how they get more of a calibrated kind of look on those TVs. But you do have the auto tone curve. The tone curve is going to keep your things from clipping and being overly bright. So I would recommend just immediately turning off the auto luminance feature, which is what Sony has had for quite a few years. They haven't really done anything new in that regard. But that auto tone curve feature is legit, and I would recommend just turning it on out the gate. That is like one of the bee's knees features this year. Now, you go into the brightness tab, everything's the same, brightness, contrast, gamma. You do have HDR tone mapping this year, which is very good on the X90J. Brightness preferred, and I'd imagine the same gradation preferred, just like we saw on the A90J. Very good that this is included on the 900 series, because usually these features only get gated to the best TVs, and to see that rolled down is awesome. Just absolutely awesome, and to see that, I'm happy about it. And then we're gonna see black level the same, black adjust the same, contrast enhancer the same. Local dimming, you can set it to high, medium, or low, and off. So you have options in the same for all the other ones. Peak luminance, you can set to high, medium, low, off, the same thing. For color this year, under the color tab, color is the same, color temperature is the same, live color is the same, nothing changes there. The clarity tab, we have sharpness, we have reality creation, we have manual is the same as it's always been, nothing new. Random noise reduction, digital noise reduction, both of those are the same. You can set it to high, medium, low, or off. You've got smooth gradation, you can set it to high, medium, low, or off. Now under the motion settings, we go to motion flow, you have auto, and you have custom, and you have off. Now I like to go to custom, I like to max out my smoothness, I like things to look like they do in real life without judder and all that other stuff. It's a personal preference, so that's where I leave it. And you can also set clearness to 1, or you can turn it off to get more brightness, but I will leave it at clearness 1. And I find it funny that on the A90J it was off by default, but here on the X90J it is on by default. So clearly Sony's TVs are made to be used with the clearness on, no matter what the setting is. So I would just immediately, regardless of the Sony you have, turn that on, because that really changed motion a little bit for me on the A90J to help it a little bit more than what it was when it was off by default and I just left it that way. Don't do that. Literally just put it to clearness 1, and as you're seeing here, that's how Sony has it out the gate anyway, because they know their motion is probably going to be trashed without it. So suspicious of that, but I'll do some testing on my end first. Now, you can use as high as 2 so far. I have to check to see if max is gonna flicker or anything, but so far I don't see any flickering, so it seems like this is really good with BFI, but we'll test that out. Now, very nice that they didn't have last year that they do this year is the addition of just putting back what they shouldn't have taken out, really, which is being able to go to high and low and off for Cinemotion versus just automatic, which doesn't tell you anything. So this gives you more control over your motion. Again, unlike LG though, and some other brands that you're gonna find this year, they don't have any other motion presets outside of custom, auto, or off. This is greatly gonna hurt Sony's motion performance compared to other brands. And so if you're somebody that's a motion fanatic, this may be something that slows Sony down. Just something to think about. Now, you have HDR mode and all that other stuff, but what I want to see is if they have Adobe RGB, which I imagine they would, but that's a big one to have. All right, DCI, we have 709, we have Adobe RGB right there. I hope that's the refined version of it, because if it is, you guys are in for a damn treat on this display, and you don't have to pay A90J money to get it, and that's huge. BT 2020 is here, so yeah, we're gonna be rocking out hard. And we got our basic calibrations, our 10 point and our 2 point, and we have per color adjustment. I mean, this TV is really ready to go. I can't wait to see what it's gonna be like, but yeah, I'm gonna throw a demonstration up now to give you a little glimpse. Now, I'm not gonna cap, out of the box, this TV's picture quality looks like crud, and I'm seeing a whole hell of a lot of judder. I mean, this is probably worse than any TV I have ever seen in my entire life as far as judder. And that's just one of the immediate things I noticed. You can play this video back and see that opening scene. It was just chop, 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 chop. It was really, really choppy. And even now, there's a lot of judder, crazy stutter, crazy judder, not a smooth TV at all. But again, I gotta check these motion settings now because this is just pretty bad. I can't take this personally. Let's go to motion. Motion flow's off, so thank goodness we can turn it on because that was terrible. I think this is game mode though, so if you're a gamer, I wouldn't like the game mode on this because it's not clean, it's not smooth. I was really not enjoying that opening scene. So a lot of people always tell me, set it to correct motion settings. Of course, that's a subjective thing. But the moment you start setting it to those crappier motion, like you just turn off all processing and you just do what most people tell you to do, your image gets shitty. And that chopping was the worst I think I've ever seen on any TV. It was terrible. So now you're seeing it a little better here. You're seeing it kind of smoother. I have to test it, stress test it, but you know, it doesn't look like a superstar or a rock star just yet. We'll have to see. But essentially, out of the box, you are going to need to do a hell of a lot of work to this thing. It is extremely ugly, extremely inaccurate. Color is just terrible. And even still, even with motion processing on as they're panning, I'm noticing a crap ton of chopping and judder. This motion is not something that's impressing me, and that's something that has me a little bit worried in the early stages. Now again, I just unboxed it, haven't done anything to it, but I doubt there's much I can do to fix motion this bad. This is pretty damn bad. I don't like this at all. So hopefully this turns itself around, but I mean, we've got to see. But so far the motion is not looking good. So that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, just kind of giving you guys an idea as to what the initial picture quality is. Again, out of the box, it's no rock star. Don't expect it to be. If you're just doing what all the other reviewers do, whipping TVs out of the box, not calibrating them, just comparing them out of the box, you're going to have vastly different results than what you're going to find later on in this review process. I'm going to take this off the rails. I'm going to optimize it the best it can be optimized. And then we're going to see how it compares with other TVs like the Sony X90J from 2017, the Sony A90J, the LG C10, the Sony A8G. We're just going to go crazy with it, the Samsung Q8FN. So if you want to watch videos like that, make sure you hit that subscribe button, join if you want those settings that I'm going to be putting out later on. And honestly, we're just going to hit the ground running. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching the #1 brand in honesty. Until the next video, see you guys later.